been a perennial winner and it's now in its 4th generation. On this edition of Test Drive, the Mazda 3. As before, the latest Mazda 3 arrives in both sedan and hatchback models, both of which get a new platform, much stronger styling and a much nicer interior. Now normally that would be enough to call any car all new. In this case there's one more very important addition. For the first time the Mazda 3 has an all-wheel drive option. Now, one of the biggest improvements on this Mazda 3 is found in the cabin. The materials are off the chart for a car at this end of the price ladder, and also I love the fact that the cockpit is very driver-centric. You'll also find a brand new infotainment system with a larger 8.8-inch screen, and it now supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The last thing is a small thing, but it makes a massive difference. They've taken the speakers out of the door panel and put them down by the kick panel down by your feet. That eliminates all of the distortion and buzz that you normally get. Proof is in the listing. All-wheel drive systems were not created equal. In simple terms, there are two basic types. The first requires the front wheels to lose grip before any power can be sent rearward, which can cause as many headaches as it actually cures. The better system is proactive, and so it gets stuff done before the wheels spin. Mazda's Active all-wheel drive system monitors everything from driver input to the forces acting on the car every 5 milliseconds to determine the best front-to-rear power split. The predictive ability allows it to shuttle up to 50% of the power to the rear wheels whenever needed. When it's not needed, it reverts to front drive to conserve fuel. It works very well and adds enormously to the Mazda 3's composure in all driving conditions. Now, the 26mm stretch in the wheelbase really does give the rear seat riders some much needed leg space. When you get around to the back here, 569 litres of cargo space for the seats up, and if you fold them flat, that number grows to 1,334 litres. I also like the fact that the floor is actually flat. The all-wheel drive models arrive with a brawny 2.5-litre 4-cylinder engine that makes 186 horsepower and 186 pound-feet of torque. It is smooth across the entire operating range and works nicely with the 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, this little Mazda 3 is pretty quick. It'll get you to 100k in about 7.5 seconds, but that's not what impresses. When you add the all-wheel drive system, obviously you're going to increase fuel consumption. In this case, it boils down to just 0.5 litres per 100 kilometres. Now, given the ability and stability the all-wheel drive system adds to this car in any driving condition, that is a tiny penalty. Of the compact cars around, the Mazda 3 has always been one of the sharpest in the handling department. The latest is no exception. The suspension dials out unwanted body roll without feeling harsh, and the steering is sharp and confidence-inspiring. The deal maker, however, is Mazda's G-Vectoring Control Plus. Heading into a corner, the system momentarily backs out of the gas, which loads up the front tyres and improves the turn-in response. At the exit of the corner, it brakes the outside front wheel to straighten the car up and get it pointed down the road in a crisper fashion. It all comes together very nicely. Now, there are some massive improvements in every area for this latest Mazda 3, from the cabin to the addition of an all-wheel drive availability. It really is a sorted package that gives you a viable alternative to a small crossover. As an aside, I'd love to see Mazda's 250 horsepower turbocharged 4 under the hood of this hatchback. It would make for a seriously intriguing ride, but sadly I don't think it's going to happen.